The 7th generation of Pokemon is said to be the hardest mainline series games to Nuzlocke. Let's see if I can beat it with smiling Pokemon in Pokémon Moon. Heard it right, smiling Pokemon. It could be any Pokemon that smiles. Happy smile, sadistic smile, pretending to smile, you name it. And if a Pokemon doesn't smile in its evolution line, I'll have to box it. With added hardcore Nuzlocke rules to make this challenge more difficult, let's get the show on the road. Time to wake up in the middle of the night and check our room to see if it's clean before leaving. Now let's choose our starter Pokemon. I will choose Poplio because its evolution will always smile. I name Poplio Manny. While playing the game, we will select every positive dialogue options to make it a happy conversation. A kid named Hao challenges us to a battle. He sent out his Litten, and I sent out Manny. This battle was only a walk in the park as Manny spammed the water gun. Our second face-off commenced as he sent out Pichu, and I went with Manny. I hammered Pichu with water gun until it hit me with the stab's super effective Thundershock, but one more water gun beats it. He sent out his Litten, which only used Growl, and Manny's water gun sent it to the yellow. Litten managed to damage Manny with Ember, but one last water gun defeats Litten. For our first Route 1 encounter, I caught an Alolan Meowth. After defeating every student on the campus, we were called to the principal's office only to face Teacher Emily. He sent out Magnemite and I went with Mayweather. I used Bite, and Magnemite responded with a painful Thundershock. Another Bite and Thundershock left it at 1 HP. I switched out to Manny, who got hit by a super effective Thundershock. Manny used Water Gun, almost defeating Magnemite. Another Thundershock sent it to the red. One last Water Gun ended Magnemite. Your next Pokemon was Meowth, which swiped through our entire team, ending our first attempt. For attempt 2, we have Manny the Poplio again, this time with the Calm Nature. One of my mistakes in the first attempt was not catching any Pokemon on the first route, because of the Nuzlocke rules that you can only catch the first Pokemon on each route. However, when other YouTubers do a Sun and Moon run, they catch a Pokemon in different grass patches of the area. In this section of Route 1, we are going to catch a Pichu. A Pichu appeared and I named him Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray has a quiet nature, which is pretty bad considering the Pikachu line is all about speed. Once again, we destroyed Hao without breaking a sweat, even though Manny was paralyzed. At this part of Route 1, we caught a Slowpoke. Look at that goofy smile. His name will be Joe Louise. At the schoolyard once again, we caught Meowth. This time it's female and I name her Holly Holmes. I challenged Teacher Emily for round 2. She sent out Magnemite and I went with Manny. Manny used Water Gun, sending it to half health. And Magnemite responded with a stab's super effective Thundershock. One last Water Gun defeats it. Meowth entered the fray and outspeeded Manny with a Bite. Manny used Disarming Voice, sending Meowth to half HP. Another Bite from Meowth and one last Disarming Voice from Manny defeated Meowth, securing our victory against Teacher Emily. We don't have to deal with this angry Pokemon. Let's take a picture on this Pikachu. I don't have to deal with you again. After getting rid of the gangsters, we were challenged by Captain Ilima. His first Pokemon was Yungoos, and I sent out Joe Louise. Yungoos used a super effective Pursuit, while Joe used Yawn. Next, Yungoos used Leer, and Joe used Curse. Yungoos fell asleep, and I switched to Sugar Ray. Ilima used a full heal, kept using Charm on Yungoos, and switched back to Joe, who got hit by a stab critical hit tackle. Ouch. Confident in staying, Yungoos used Pursuit. Thanks to Charm, it weakened Yungoos' attack, and Joe used Yawn. I switched back to Sugar, but Joe got hit by Pursuit, almost killing him. Yungoos then fell asleep. Sugar used Charm to fully lower Yungoos' attack, and I switched to Holly Holmes to power up with Work Up. Another Work Up and a Leer from Yungoos, Holly used Bite, followed by another Leer. A Bite from Holly and a Tackle, and one last Bite finished Yungoos off. His last Pokemon was Smeargle. Holly outspeeds with a Bite, sending it to the yellow, but Smeargle destroys Holly with a Tackle. This early in the game, we already have our first casualty, and I'm already getting nervous on what's to come. I sent out Sugar Ray, only to get hit by a Tackle from Smeargle, almost killing Sugar. However, Smeargle got paralyzed in the process thanks to static ability. A Thundershock from Sugar defeated Smeargle, gaining us a victory over Ilima. On Route 2, we got our next encounter, a Makuhita, and we name him Errol Spence. I will not evolve Errol in this run, because if it does, its smile will go away. In the Hau'oli Cemetery, we caught a Ghastly and named him Tyson Fury. In this part of Route 2, we caught a cutie fly. We named her Katie Taylor. She will stay in the box for a while, since she's not smiling yet. We'll have to wait for the next level cap to evolve her into a Ribombi. I'll take this TM Brick Break if you don't mind. Okay, these two numbskulls needs to get lost. Now, for the first Totem Pokemon, Totem Raticate. Totem Raticate boosted its defense, and I sent out Errol Spence. Totem Raticate outspeeds with a critical hit tackle, and Errol knocked out Totem Raticate with a stab super effective Brick Break, winning us the battle. Ain't no way he used a destructive move on a wild Pokemon. That is animal abuse. Lily has yet lost Cosmog, so it's up to us to look for it. We found it, and we have a surprise battle with Hau. Hau sent out Pikachu, and I sent out Tyson Fury. Pikachu used Growl, and Tyson connects with Hypnosis. I sent out Errol Spence while Pikachu was still asleep. Pikachu suddenly woke up and hits us with a hard-hitting Electro Ball. Errol responded with a Brick Break, sending Pikachu to the yellow. Man, I should have used Fake Out. I then switched out to Sugar Ray to tank an Electro Ball. Pikachu then dealt huge damage with a Quick Attack. And Sugar Ray used Sweet Kiss for confusion. Anticipating another Quick Attack, I sent out Tyson Fury. Pikachu, no longer confused, managed to hit Tyson with an Electro Ball, while Tyson defeats Pikachu with a Lick. Hau's next Pokemon was Litten. I switched to Joe Louise, who got hit by a super effective Lick. Litten then went for an Ember, and Joe got burned. Joe uses Yawn. I switched to Manny, who got hit by an Ember, while Litten fell asleep. Water Gun from Manny sent Litten to the red, and on the next turn, Litten woke up and hit Manny with a Lick, paralyzing him. But it didn't bother Manny, and Manny hit Litten with one more Water Gun to end the battle. After the battle, Pichu evolved into a Pikachu. Game Freak made Pikachu's cry special by using its voice from the anime.
Pika Pika.
It's time to face our first Kahuna battle against Hala, the fighting type specialist. Hala's first Pokemon was Mankey, and I sent out Manny. Mankey used Focus Energy and I used Disarming Voice. On the next turn, Manny got hit by a stab critical Karate Chop, activating his Citrus Berry. Another Disarming Voice from Mankey sent Mankey to the yellow HP. Hala used the Super Potion and I kept using Disarming Voice. Another critical hit Karate Chop sent Manny to the red, and another Disarming Voice also sent Mankey to the red. I sent out Tyson Fury to dodge an anticipated Karate Chop. On the next turn, Mankey outspeeded and hit Tyson Fury with a super effective Pursuit. Tyson retaliated with a Nightshade, defeating Mankey. Next, Hala sent out his ace, Crab Roller. I went for Hypnosis, but it failed miserably. And Crab Roller destroys Tyson with a super effective Pursuit. Rest in peace, buddy. I sent out Joe Louise, Crab Roller outspeeded with a Pursuit, and Joe managed to land a Yawn. Next, Crab Roller used Leer, and Joe used Confusion. Crab Roller fell asleep thanks to Yawn. Hala used the Full Heal, and Joe attacked with Confusion, sending Crab Roller to the yellow. A Pursuit from Crab Roller almost knocked out Joe, but one last Confusion defeats it. Hala's last Pokemon was Makuhita. I sent out Errol Spence. Errol got hit by a Fake Out. It's Makuhita versus Makuhita. Errol used the priority Fake Out. Errol used Brick Break, dealing huge damage, and Makuhita used Sand Attack. And one last Brick Break defeats Makuhita, securing our victory over Hala. At 10 Carrot Hill, we had another encounter, a happy good boy, a Rockruff. We caught him and named him Rocky. We also get this handy TM of Acrobatics. We now set sail to the next island, Akala Island, to face the next trials. Ever wondered if Game Freak will ever consider voice acting in Pokemon? They have the money to do it, considering Pokemon is the #1 media franchise in the world. Thanks to this lady for giving us a rare candy, I managed to evolve Manny into a Bryon. Here at the Pokemon Center, I purchased Protect that will be so useful to us. Well, look what we have here. It's the Dorks from Kalas. Saina challenges us to a battle, which we won with no casualties. At Route 14, we caught an Eevee and named him Willy Pep. In Paniola Town, Hau challenges us to another battle. Hau started off with Pikachu and I sent out Errol Spence. Errol used the priority Fake Out. Next, Pikachu went for a priority critical hit Quick Attack, while Errol retaliated with one hit KO Brick Break. Next, he sent out his ace Torracat. I sent out Rocky, who got hit by a Lick. Torracat hit Rocky with a Fire Fang, leaving a burn, and Torracat managed to evade a Rock Throw. I switched out to Manny as Torracat used its Z move, Breakneck Blitz. I stalled a bit with Protect, and on the next turn, Torracat used Lick while Manny hit with a super effective Water Gun. One more Water Gun finishes off Torracat and wins us the battle. You can't imagine how hot this hallway is. In the Paniola Ranch, we encountered the milk tank. I stared at it to see if it was smiling, but looking closely, its face was neutral. Well, let's get out of here. At Route 15, we met a guy who thinks he's an edgelord. The edgelord Gladion challenged us to a fight. He sent out Zubat and I went with Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray used Thundershock, leaving Zubat in the red, while Zubat opts for Bite. And one last Thundershock defeats Zubat. Gladion's next Pokemon was Type Null, also known as the Frankenstein of Pokemon. Sugar used Charm, reducing Type Null's attack by 2 stages. Type Null went for a tackle, leaving it paralyzed thanks to Sugar's ability Static. I then switched out to Aerospence and Type Null remained paralyzed. I hammered with Brick Break, defeating the edgelord. By giving this trainer a Lillipup, we managed to get a Smiling Fruit, a Bounsweet, which by default has an Adamant nature. At Brooklet Hill, we caught a Mushroom, a Morlo, and we named her Lila Ali. Thanks to Captain Lana, we received a Lapras Pager, allowing us to traverse the waters. We now face our second Totem, Totem Wishiwashi. What's scary about this Totem Pokemon is that it's a water type in a permanent rain. I first sent out Joe Louise. Joe started with Light Screen to boost special defense while Wishiwashi used Water Gun. It then sent out its ally Pokemon, a small Wishiwashi. The small Wishiwashi assisted the big Wishiwashi with Helping Hand. Joe began lowering its special attack with Confide, and another growl from the big Wishiwashi. The big Wishiwashi fell asleep thanks to Yawn. Small Wishiwashi hits a super effective Feint attack, but it didn't bother Joe as he kept lowering the big Wishiwashi's special attack with Confide. Joe is doing his best to avoid huge damage from the big Wishiwashi by using Light Screen again. Next, I sent out Bouncy, who got hit by a Feint attack. Unfortunately, all of Joe's efforts were wasted as the big Wishiwashi woke up and landed a critical hit Water Gun on Bouncy, leaving her in the red. With no choice, I decided to sacrifice Bouncy for a safe switch to Joe Louise. Joe got hit by a Feint attack while targeting the big Wishiwashi with Yawn, and the big Wishiwashi responded with Water Gun. Joe stayed in the battle to get hit again and used Confide. Now in the red, I sent out Aerospence, who got hit by a rain-boosted brine from the small Wishiwashi. We finally landed an attacking move, removing the big Wishiwashi's held Citrus Berry with Knock Off. The big Wishiwashi then woke up to use Soak on Arrow. Arrow landed a Brick Break on the allied Pokemon, sending it to the yellow, while the big Wishiwashi used Water Gun, sending Arrow to yellow health as well. I then sent out Manny, while the Wishiwashis used non-attacking moves. Manny was left with only Disarming Voice, so I had no choice but to spam it until the small Wishiwashi fell. Totem Wishiwashi then called an ally, an Alomomula. In the following turns, Manny kept spamming Disarming Voice until Totem Wishiwashi's schooling ability deactivates. Few more Disarming Voices defeated Totem Wishiwashi and Alomomula, defeating the second Totem Pokemon. At the Royal Avenue, we are challenged by a masked Luchador in a fatal 4-way, which Hao lost the battle. I seriously need these items for EV training. Okay, let's dance.
Let's dance!
We are now up against the next Totem fight is with Totem Salazzle, as she raises her special defense, and the one will face her is Manny. Totem Salazzle starts with a Toxic. Since this is the first time I'll be using a Z move, so Manny unleashes his power to send Totem Salazzle to the yellow with the Hydro Vortex. Salazzle eats her Petaya Berry, raising its special attack and calls on ally Salandit. Next, Salazzle lands a not so effective Flame Burst, and Manny destroys Totem Salazzle with a Bubble Beam. One last Bubble Beam from Salandit, winning us the battle. And no evolution for you. We met Corliss, the strange scientist from the Unova region, and he gave us an access to the Poképelago. At level 25, we can now evolve Rocky into a Lycanroc Midnight form. From Happy Smile to Sinister Smile, we can now use Katie Taylor as she evolves into a Smiling Ribombi. The fourth island trial begins as we sniff out ingredients to make a nasty soup. While preparing the nasty soup, we lured in a giant mantis. Even with something terrifying lurking behind us, we kept smiling through it all. Battle begins with Totem Lurantis boosting its speed, and it's time for Katie Taylor to make her debut. Totem Lurantis outspeeds and lands a quad-resisted X-Scissor, but Katie retaliates with a super effective Pollen Puff. In response, Totem Laurentis summons Castform as an ally. Laurentis attempts to heal with Synthesis, but Katie delivers another Pollen Puff, knocking out the Totem Pokemon. Castform then sets up Sunny Day to change its form. I switch to Rocky, who takes a not so effective Weather Ball. One Rock Tomb from Rocky finishes the battle, securing our victory. Again, no evolution for you. We learn more about Ultra Wormholes with Professor Kukui's wife until we witness one for ourselves. Enter Coney Coney Town, where we can buy a Thunderstone to evolve Sugar Ray into an adorable Alolan Raichu. Before facing the second grand trial, we are challenged by Plumeria, one of the bosses of Team Skull. She sent out Golbat and I went for Rocky. Golbat outspeeds with a Confuse Ray, but that doesn't affect Rocky, successfully landing a stab super effective Rock Tomb, knocking out Golbat. Her last Pokemon is Salandit. Salandit uses Poison Gas. Rocky snaps out of confusion, defeating Salandit with one Rock Tomb, ending the battle. We are now up against Miss Olivia, Queen of Alola. He opens the battle with Nosepass and my response is sending out Errol Spence. Errol uses Priority Fake Out, flinching Nosepass. Next, Errol goes for a stab super effective Brick Break, dealing decent damage while Nosepass paralyzes Errol with Thunder Wave. I didn't equip Errol with the Cherry Berry because he holds an Eviolite. Nosepass now outspeeds with a Spark and Errol hits a Brick Break. Errol remained paralyzed. Another Spark from Nosepass and Errol knocks Nosepass with a Brick Break. Olivia sent out her Boldore, which outspeeds and lands a Headbutt. It also leaves Errol with 3 HP. Yikes! Errol then responds with a super effective Brick Break, but it deals only minimal damage. I switch to Joe Louise to absorb the next Headbutt from Boldore. On the following turn, Joe outspeeds and uses Yawn, but another Headbutt from Boldore brings Joe to the yellow. I then switch to Rocky, who tanks another Headbutt before Boldore finally falls asleep. Anticipating Olivia's full heal on Boldore, I use the opportunity to safely switch in Manny. Knowing Boldore has a terrible special defense, Manny easily takes it down with a single super effective Bubble Beam. Olivia's last Pokemon is her ace, Lycanroc Midnight form. Lycanroc unleashes a powerful Continental Crush, nearly knocking out Manny. With just 4 HP remaining, Manny counters with Hydro Vortex, ending the battle and successfully completing the Akala trials. So to unlock the berry planting in Pokepelago, we need at least 15 Pokemon in the box. So I will catch up to 15 Pokemon. Don't worry, this is just for me to bag some more berries. We have now arrived at Aether Paradise, where we met President Usamin and encountered a strange alien-like Pokemon. We faced off against the alien jellyfish and sent out Sugar Ray to deal with it. The alien outspeeds and hits Sugar Ray with a Venoshock. Sugar Ray responded with a super effective Psychic, but it wasn't enough due to alien's increase in special defense. I switched to Rocky, who got hit by a not so effective Venoshock. The alien outspeeded again with a Venoshock, but Rocky ended the battle with Rock Tomb. We said farewell to the president and proceeded to the next island. Caught by surprise, Hao challenges us to another battle. Damn you, Hao. The fight begins with Hao's Alolan Raichu, and I sent out my own Alolan Raichu, Sugar Ray. Hao's Raichu outspeeds and hits Sugar with Psychic. Sugar retaliated with a Psychic of his own, also lowering Raichu's special defense. We exchanged Psychics again on the next turn. With Sugar Ray left in the yellow, I switched to Joe, but even though Psychic wasn't super effective, it still sent Joe into the yellow. Man, Alolan Raichu hits like a truck. I decided to sacrifice Errol Spence for a safe switch to Rocky. Rocky took an Electro Ball like a champ and then finished off Alolan Raichu with a super effective bite. Hao's next Pokemon was Leafeon. I switched to Katie, who got hit by a not so effective Giga Drain. Leafeon used Quick Attack, but Katie destroyed Leafeon with a stab super effective Pollen Puff. When Torracat came out, I switched to Manny. Hao used a Fire type Z move, but Manny resisted it. Torracat then used Bite, so I gave Hao a taste of his own medicine by hitting Torracat with the Hydro Vortex. Luckily, I had done thorough research. Otherwise, if I had gone in blind, Hao would have totally destroyed us. On Route 10, we encountered Team Skull trying to steal a bus stop. At the peak of Mount Hokulani, we met a strange dude named Mullane, who then challenges us to a battle. Mullane, a Steel's-type specialist, started the battle with Skarmory. So in response, I sent out Sugar Ray. Sugar went for a Charge Beam, but it missed, and Skarmory retaliated with a Metal Claw. Sugar then landed a Charge Beam, sending Skarmory to the yellow, and also boosting its special attack. Skarmory tried another Metal Claw, but it missed. Mullane switched to Dugtrio to counter the Charge Beam. Anticipating a Ground-type move, I switched to Katie, but she got hit by a super effective Metal Claw, sending her into the red. What in the world? I then sent out Joe and Dugtrio hit him with another Metal Claw. Joe used Yawn, Protect from Joe, and Dugtrio goes to sleep. Mullane used the full heal, but Joe responded with a Water Pulse. Dugtrio went for another Metal Claw and Joe finished it off with a second Water Pulse. Next up was Matang. who struck with a super effective Pursuit. Joe responded with Yawn, followed by Protect, putting Metang to sleep. I switched to Manny, who used 2 workups to boost his special attack. Metang woke up and hit Manny with a Bullet Punch, but Manny retaliated with a Bubble Beam, and a second Bubble Beam took it out. Skarmory returned and outspeeded with a Metal Claw. One last Bubble Beam from Manny defeats Molayne. It's time to face the next Totem Pokemon, Totem Vikavolt. Send out Rocky to handle it. Rocky outspeeds Vikavolt with a Rock Tomb, sending the giant bug down to half health. Totem Vikavolt responds with a Spark, sending Rocky into the yellow. Rocky ate a Citrus Berry to recover some health. Totem Vikavolt then called for a backup, summoning a Charjabug. Rocky hit Totem Vikavolt with another Rock Tomb, leaving it at just 1 HP. Vikavolt struck again with Spark, this time paralyzing Rocky. Charjabug attempted a Thunder Wave, but Rocky was already paralyzed. I then switched to Sugar Ray, who got hit by Sparks. One last Psychic took down Totem Vikavolt, but Sugar Ray was hit by a super effective bite, leaving him just 4 HP. Finally, I sent out Manny to deal with the Charjabug, and with that, victory was ours. Back at Nally Garden, we encountered the leader of Team Skull, Guzma. Guzma sent out his ace Pokemon, Golisopod, and I opted for Sugar Ray. I used Protect to shield Sugar Ray from Golisopod's priority move, First Impression. Next, I unleashed a Z-move with Sugar Ray, with successfully defeating Golisopod. Guzma's last Pokemon was Ariados. I sent out Rocky, who got hit by a Fell Stinger. Rocky outspeeded Ariados with a Rock Tomb, leaving it in the red. Ariados struck back with another Fell Stinger. I then switched to Katie, who took another Fell Stinger. In the final round, Katie finished off Ariados with a super effective Psychic. Oh look, a smiling panda. With a level cap at 39, Manny has now evolved into a Primarina. Outside the Either house, Team Skull is harassing Lily again. Acerola sure has a big head. We've now entered the haunted supermarket to capture pictures of smiling ghost Pokemon. This place reminds me of our fallen comrade Tyson Fury. Inside this room, we see a lot of pictures of a Pikachu. Also a strange doll-like Pokemon called Mimikyu. Totem Mimikyu entered the battle with all its stats boosted. Sent out Sugar Ray, having trained it with Defense EV specifically for this moment. I had a huge faith that Sugar Ray could withstand at least a single Shadow Claw, but luckily Mimikyu used Mimic instead. Sugar Ray then used Charm to lower its attack. Totem Mimikyu summoned the Haunter to aid it in battle. Haunter attempted a Sucker Punch, and Totem Mimikyu hit with a super effective Shadow Claw, sending Sugar Ray into the yellow. And activating its held Citrus Berry, Sugar Ray responded with another Charm. I then sent out Katie, who got hit by a Shadow Claw and a Hypnosis from Haunter. I quickly switched to Joe, while Mimikyu used Mimic and Haunter used Lick. Totem Mimikyu followed up with another Shadow Claw and Haunter used Nightshade. Joe managed to remove Totem Mimikyu's disguise with a Water Pulse. Joe was in the yellow, but I was 100% confident he could survive the assault. Joe then knocked out the annoying Haunter with a Zen Headbutt. On the next turn, I sent out Manny, who took a Shadow Claw. Totem Mimikyu outspeeded with a Play Rough. Manny responded with a super powerful critical hit Hydro Vortex Z-move, stealing our victory over Totem Mimikyu. Back at the haunted supermarket, we captured our own Mimikyu and named her Ann Wolf. It takes around 2 hours to fully EV train a Pokemon in Sun and Moon through SOS chaining. Lumeria is up for a battle. She sent out Golbat and I led with Sugar Ray. Golbat outspeeded with a Confuse Ray, but thanks to Persim Berry, Sugar shook off the confusion and set up with a nasty plot. On the next turn, Golbat tried another Confuse Ray, but Sugar powered through and landed a Psychic, taking down Golbat. The final round, Salazzle hit Sugar Ray with a Flame Burst, but Sugar snapped out of confusion and delivered a one-hit KO Psychic, securing the victory. One of the Elite Four members from the Unova region, Grimsley, handed us a Sharpedo jet ski, allowing us to traverse bodies of waters with speed. The strange dude helped us enter a town overrun by Team Skull. We infiltrated the Shady House, wiping out all the Team Skull members and rescuing the missing Yungoos. Now we're about to enter the boss room. We challenged Guzma for round 2. Guzma sent out Golisopod and I respond with Sugar Ray. Sugar used Protect, causing Golisopod's first impression to fail. Sugar then unleashed a Charge Beam, forcing Golisopod to retreat with Emergency Exit. Guzma sent out Ariados next, so I switched to Rocky, who got hit by a Fell Stinger. Rocky retaliated by defeating Ariados with a single stab super effective Rock Slide. Golisopod re-entered the battle, but Rocky finished it off with another Rock Slide, securing our victory. We encountered a strange dude once again, and it was revealed that he is Acerola's uncle. Meanwhile, Joe managed to evolve into a Slowbro at level 38. We also caught another smiling companion, an Absol, who we named Muhammad Ali. Back at the Aether House, we received some bad news. Team Skull has taken Lily away. Another battle looms on the horizon as Gladion arrives on the scene. It's Golbat vs Rocky. Golbat used acrobatics while Rocky set up with Swords Dance. After another acrobatics, Rocky responded with one hit KO Rock Slide, taking down Golbat. Next up was Snizzle, who hit Rocky with a Metal Claw, sending him to the yellow and activating his held Citrus Berry. One Rock Slide was all it took to take down Snizzle. Last was Type Null. The first Rock Slide caused it to flinch, and one more bite defeats the Chimera. Looks like the Oranguru wants to tag along. Uncle Nanu reveals himself as the Island Kahuna, and the third Kahuna battle begins with his Dark-type Pokemon. Nanu starts with Sableye and I respond with Katie Taylor. Katie uses Protect, causing Sableye's Fake Out to fail. Katie hits with a stab super effective Dazzling Gleam, while Sableye counters with a super effective Power Gem. Nanu then uses a full restore on Sableye, but Katie follows up with the 2 more Dazzling Gleams, taking down Sableye. Next up is Ace, a Alolan Persian. I switch to Manny, who tanks a Power Gem. After another Power Gem, Manny sets up a Light Screen. Persian hits with another Power Gem, but Manny responds with a Sparkling Aria, sending Persian into the yellow. One more Sparkling Aria finished off Alolan Persian. Krokorok enters the battle. Krokorok outspeeds with Swagger, but no confusion can stop Manny, as one more Sparkling Aria defeats Krokorok, securing our victory over Uncle Nanu. Third Grand Trial complete. We once again entered the Aether Foundation, this time to save Lily, thanks to Gladion. We battled our way through a lot of their underpaid employees, including their manager Faba. Gladion tried but failed to defeat Guzma, leaving it up to us to take him on once more. It's Golisopod vs Sugar Ray again, and I applied the same strategy as in our second fight. However, this time, Guzma sent out Masquerain and Sugar was hit with an Intimidate. Sugar responded with a Gigavolt Havoc, delivering a one-hit KO to Masquerain as Golisopod returned to the field. Another round of Protect and Charge Beam finished off Golisopod. Next up was Pinsir, so I switched to Manny, who tanked an X-Scissor. After another X-Scissor from Pinsir, Manny hit back with a Sparkling Aria. I then sent out Katie, but Pinsir's X-Scissor dealt significant damage. Fortunately, a Psychic from Katie was enough to defeat Pinsir. Guzma sent out Ariados. Katie used Protect to scout its move, which turned out to be a Shadow Sneak. A super effective Psychic from Katie sent Ariados into the yellow, and one last Psychic secured our victory, defeating Ariados and winning the battle against Guzma. The situation has escalated into a family matter with President Usamin at the center of it. She has unleashed the Ultra Beast, a powerful and enigmatic creature to wreak havoc across Alola. In response, the Island Guardians emerge to stop the threat. A three-way battle is about to begin, and my opponent is none other than the President herself, Lusamine. The battle kicks off with Clefable and I send out Joe Louise. Clefable outspeeds with Moonblast and I attempt to use Toxic, but unfortunately it misses. Joe then uses Protect while Clefable's Metronome results in Encore. Clefable unleashes another powerful Moonblast, but Joe heals himself with Slack Off. I try to stall with Protect, but Clefable uses Cosmic Power, boosting its defense and special defense. Another Moonblast hits, and finally Toxic lands, only to discover that it doesn't affect Clefable due to its ability Magic Guard, which only allows damage from direct attacks. Clefable then Metronomes Spore, putting Joe to sleep. With no other choice, I switch to Manny. Clefable continues to boost its defense with Cosmic Power. Manny outspeeds and sets up Light Screen to better resist Moonblast, while Clefable's Metronome brings up a bubble. Clefable's Metronome's Sleep Powder puts Manny to sleep as well. Manny remains asleep and gets hit by Moonblast, followed by a Metronome Infestation, triggering Manny's held Citrus Berry. Manny wakes up just in time to set up another Light Screen. Clefable then retaliates with Moonblast. A Sparkling Aria connects, but Clefable's Metronome Storm Throw adds to the chaos. Manny goes for Psychic, but Clefable's Moonblast lowers Manny's special attack, and the infestation takes its toll, bringing Manny down. I can't believe what just happened. No matter what, we must keep our positive attitude. So I send out Ann Wolf. Ann uses Swords Dance, but Clefable's Metronome Razor Leaf removes Ann's disguise. A Swords Dance boosted Shadow Claw hits, followed by Clefable's Metronome Electro Ball. Anne goes for another Swords Dance, and Clefable Metronome play rough, forces Anne to consume her Citrus Berry. One last 4 times boosted Shadow Claw takes down Clefable for good. Anne then sweeps through Miss Magius, Lilligant, and Milotic with a stab 2 Swords Dance powered Shadow Claws. With no effective moves left for Beware, I switch to Katie. Katie gets hit by Baby Doll Eyes. Katie uses Dazzling Gleam on Beware. A takedown from Beware nearly knocks Katie out, but with one last Dazzling Gleam, we defeat the deranged Psychopath. Thank you, Manny, for everything you have done for us. Lusamine manages to escape alongside with Guzma through the Ultra Wormhole. He also retrieved Nevi now in its sun-like form. Thanks to Gladion's yacht, we arrived on Pony Island. In the Pony Wilds, we get our next encounter, an Execute, whom we named Vonda Ward. We purchase a Lipstone in Konikoni City to evolve Vonda into an Executor. Just look at those 3 smiling coconut heads. As long as you keep smiling, everything is going to be alright, just like the rainbow after the rain. With the mystical flute in hand, we head back to Pony Island. Now it's time to journey through the vast Pony Canyon. But before entering the canyon, we must face the Kahuna of the island. The last Kahuna is a young girl named Hapu. She starts the battle with Dugtrio and I send out Vonda Ward. Dugtrio outspeeds with Sandstorm, but Vonda responds with Bulldoze. Even with its speed lowered, Dugtrio still managed to hit first with Iron Head, but one more Bulldoze destroys Dugtrio. Next up is Flygon, so I switch to Katie. Flygon attempts a Dragon Breath but it fails. Katie counters with a Dazzling Gleam, and Flygon retaliates with Earth Power. Hapu heals Flygon with a full restore, but Katie hammers it again with Dazzling Gleam. One last Psychic knocks out Flygon. Now, Hapu sends out her ace on Mudsdale. Katie uses Protect to avoid the predicted Heavy Slam. Expecting another Heavy Slam, I switch to Sugar Ray.
No. Wait. Wait.
Another comrade has fallen as Sugar Ray succumbs to Earthquake. Joe Louise, it's up to you to avenge Sugar Ray. Joe uses Protect to withstand a Tectonic Rage. Joe attempts a Toxic but it fails, and Mudsdale strikes with a powerful Earthquake, activating Joe's Citrus Berry. Joe finally lands a Toxic, but Mudsdale destroys another comrade. I'm running out of plans, but let's see if Vonda can finish the battle. To my surprise, I remember that Vonda knows Solar Beam. Hapu uses Full Heal, but Vonda lands a clean Solar Beam without any interruptions, causing Mudsdale to faint. Hapu's last Pokemon is Gastrodon. Vonda charges up, while Gastrodon goes for Mud Bomb, and a Solar Beam connects, defeating Hapu and securing our victory. We needed to find replacements for our fallen comrades. So I returned to Route 17 and caught a Gumi. I used a Master Ball, which I may regret later, and I named him Mayweather. For the other slot, I took Willipep out of the box. After a lot of grinding in the wild, we managed to evolve Willipep into a happy Sylveon, and Mayweather into a Sliggoo at level 40. The vast Pony Canyon is like Alola's version of Victory Road, filled with tough trainers ranging from ace trainers to veterans. A strange girl named Mina appeared and gave us the Farium Z. We said our farewells, and then it was time to face a gauntlet of powerful trainers, and one nearly takes out Rocky. Back on Route 17, in the middle of the rain, I gave Mayweather a rare candy at level 50, allowing him to evolve into a powerful Gudra. Deep within the valley, a giant dragon leaps down, revealing itself as the final Totem Pokemon, Totem Como-O. Time to face the last Totem Pokemon. Totem Como-O begins by using Protect, calling its backup a Hakumo-O. Totem Como-O then fires off a Flash Cannon, but it doesn't phase Willipep. Willy counters with a stab quad-effective Moonblast, taking down the Totem Pokemon. And one more Moonblast finishes off the backup Hakamo'o. And with that, we've secured our last Z Crystal. Thanks to Nebi, we managed to enter the Ultra Space, where we found Guzma being tormented by the alien jellyfish. President Lusamine then summons the alien jellyfish Naya Helgo and fuses with it, becoming one with the Ultra Beast. It's time to end this madness once and for all as the final battle begins. It's Clefable vs Willipep. Willy starts with Confide, and Clefable responds with a Metronome Night Slash, which activates Willy's Charm ability, causing Clefable to fall for Willy. While Clefable is infatuated, Willy lands a Moonblast. After another Confide, Clefable uses Metronome and hits Rest, putting itself to sleep. Willy takes advantage and attacks with Moonblast. Another Moonblast while Clefable sleeps. When Clefable finally wakes up, it heals itself with Moonlight. Willy uses Confide again, but Clefable counters with a Moonblast. It also lowers Willy's special attack. After another Confide and Clefable simping, I decide to switch to Anwolf. Clefable uses Metronome and gets Curse. Anne sets up with Swords Dance while Clefable boosts its defense with Cosmic Power. After another Swords Dance, Clefable continues with Cosmic Power. Anne lands a Play Rough, sending Clefable into the yellow, and Clefable uses another Cosmic Power. With Anne now fully powered with Swords Dance, Clefable heals itself with Moonlight. Unfortunately, a Play Rough miss, and Clefable destroys Anne's disguise. Finally, Play Rough connects and Clefable's Moonblast hits back, but it's not enough. One last Play Rough takes down the bulky Clefable. With Anne fully jacked with Swords Dance, she sweeps the rest of Lusamine's team with ease. When it comes to Beware, it only takes 2 Play Roughs to put it down. Victory is ours. The psychotic woman refuses to admit defeat, insisting on taking us down with her. But just in time, we're saved by Nevi and Lusamine is finally separated from the alien jellyfish. Back on Earth, remember when I said I regretted using the Master Ball on Gumi? Well, that's because it's mandatory to catch Nebi. Fortunately, I managed to catch Nebi with the Quick Ball, and named her Moon Nebi. And look who's here! It's none other than Uncle Nanu. We return to Tapu Village and gain access to Mount Lanakila, where we're greeted by the Edgelord himself, Gladion. Gladion sent out Crobat, and I started with Rocky. Crobat goes for Cross Poison, while I use Rock Polish to raise Rocky's speed. Now faster, Rocky sets up Swords Dance, and Crobat hits with another Cross Poison. Rocky then delivers a one-hit KO with the Stab's super effective Swords Dance boosted Rock Slide. Lucario falls to a one-hit KO Brick Break. The hail triggers Rocky's Citrus Berry. Next is Weavile meets the same fate with another Brick Break. Gladion's last Pokemon is Silvally enters the battle. Rocky uses Brick Break, but it's not enough. Silvally's Grass-type multi-attack destroys Rocky. That was tough to watch. Katie Taylor steps in and ends the fight with a Z-move, Savage Spin Out, sealing our victory. I then bring in Muhammad Ali as Rocky's replacement. Our last battle before the Pokemon League is against our rival Hao. The battle starts with his Alolan Raichu facing off against Anwolf. Raichu outspeeds with a Thunderbolt, breaking Anne's disguise. But Anne retaliates with a one-hit KO Shadow Claw. Next, Hao sends out his Komala. I switch to Willy Pep, who tanks a Shadow Claw. Komala, thanks to Willy's cute charm, becomes immobilized by love. Willy sets up Reflect while Komala remains unable to attack. I lower Komala's attack with Baby Doll Eyes, and it responds with a Wood Hammer. Another Baby Doll Eyes, and Komala is immobilized again. A third Baby Doll Eyes, and Komala still can't attack. After a fourth Baby Doll Eyes, Komala finally hits with Wood Hammer. Willy sets up Reflect, and Komala still can't break through. I switch to Katie Taylor, who takes a weakened Wood Hammer. With Komala's attack lowered, I set up 3 Quiver Dances. One final Dazzling Gleam finishes off Komala. Next, Incineroar enters the fray. A +3 Savage Spin Out from Katie Taylor takes down Incineroar in one hit. Hao's last Pokemon, Leafeon, is easily defeated with a single Pollen Puff, securing our victory. We now step into the Pokemon League, and here is our final team. We enter the domain of the Fists to challenge the first Elite Four member, the King of Fighters himself, Hala. He kicks off the battle with Hariyama, and I lead with Katie Taylor. Katie starts with Protect, blocking Hariyama's attempt to use Fake Out. I then buff Katie with Quiver Dance, while Hariyama retaliates with Close Combat. After another Quiver Dance, Hariyama lands a painful knockoff, boosted by the loss of Katie's held Citrus Berry. Despite the hit, Katie is now primed for action. He finishes Hariyama with a +2 Dazzling Gleam. From there, Crabominable, Poliwrath, Primeape, and Beware all fall victims to a one-hit KO Stab Dazzling Gleams, winning us the battle. As we enter the domain of the rocks, we prepare to challenge the Queen of Alola herself, Olivia. The battle begins with Relicanth facing off against Vonda Ward. Surprisingly, Relicanth outspeeds with a Yawn. But Vonda responds with a Stab quad-effective Seed Bomb, knocking out Relicanth. Olivia counters with Carbink, so I switch to Willy Pep. Carbink sends up Reflect, and Willy responds by using Toxic. Carbink retaliates with a Moonblast, and Willy follows up with Protect to stall. We exchange Moonblasts on the next turn, with Carbink gradually succumbing to the toxic damage. Eventually, Carbing falls and Olivia sends out her ace, Lycanroc Midnight Form. Willy lowers Lycanroc's attack with Baby Doll Eyes, but Olivia surprises us by activating her Z-move, sending Willy into the yellow. Thanks to Baby Doll Eyes, Willy narrowly avoids being knocked out. Willy uses Protect to recover a bit with leftovers. Feeling confident, I kept Willy in the battle and used another Baby Doll Eyes. But a Stone Edge sends Willy into the red, another Protect to stall for time. I then switch to Mayweather, who gets hit by a critical hit Stone Edge. Yikes! Fortunately, Mayweather survives. Lycanroc uses Rock Line, but Mayweather retaliates with a super effective Muddy Water. A crunch from Lycanroc sends Mayweather into the red, but one last Muddy Water finishes Lycanroc off. Olivia's next Pokemon is Probopass, so I switch to Vonda. Probopass paralyzes Vonda with Thunder Wave and sets up a Sandstorm. I opt for Bulldoze, but Probopass counters with Power Gem. Another Bulldoze isn't enough to finish it. Olivia heals with a full restore, and I hammer Probopass with another Bulldoze. Now faster, Vonda destroys Probopass with a final Bulldoze. Alolan Golem enters the battle. I decide to keep Vonda in, knowing she can survive at least one Steamroller. Golem hits with Steamroller, and although Vonda survives, she remains paralyzed. Unfortunately, my prediction is off, and Vonda falls to a second Steamroller. I sent out Muhammad Ali, who goes for a Stab Night Slash, but it deals minimal damage. Golem hits Muhammad Ali with another Steamroller, bringing him into the yellow. I then switch to Anwolf, who takes a Steamroller, breaking her disguise. Anne outspeeds and sets up with the Swords Dance, but Golem hits hard with Thunder Punch. Anne retaliates with a Shadow Claw, but another Thunder Punch sends Anne into the red and paralyzes her. Fortunately, the Cherry Berry activates, curing the paralysis. One final play rough from Anne finishes off Golem, and with that, we defeated Olivia. Entering the Domain of Spirits, we challenge the big-headed princess, Ace Rolla. He sends out Sableye, and Anwolf steps up to respond. Anne starts with Swords Dance, and Sableye tries to disrupt her with Confuse Ray, but this activates Anne's Person Berry, clearing the confusion. Anne then lands a one-hit KO with Play Rough on Sableye. Next, Delmise falls to a single Shadow Claw, and Frostlass is taken out with a one-hit KO Shadow Sneak. Surprisingly, Palossand survives a Stab Swords Dance boosted Shadow Claw and counters by raising its defense with Iron Defense. Ace Rolla heals Palossand, but Anne makes quick work of it with 2 more Shadow Claws. Finally, Anne finishes the battle with a decisive Shadow Claw on Drifiblim, granting us the victory. The final member of the Elite Four awaits in the Domain of the Skies, the Sky Princess Kahili. She begins the battle with Skarmory, and I send out Muhammad Ali. Ali starts with Swords Dance while Skarmory sets up spikes. Ali goes for another Swords Dance, but Skarmory hits with Steel Wing, sending Ali into the yellow and triggering his held Citrus Berry. Ali then uses a less effective Psycho Cut for some chip damage, while Skarmory adds another layer of spikes. Finally, Ali destroys Skarmory with a Night Slash. Next, Kahili sends out Mandibuzz, so I switch to Willy Pep. Mandibuzz uses Flatter, confusing Willy. Despite the confusion, Willy shrugs it off and obliterates Mandibuzz with a one-hit KO, Flatter-powered Moonblast. Kahili then sends out Crobat. I switch to Mayweather, who takes a hit from Poison Fang. Crobat outspeeds with a Supersonic, but luckily it misses, allowing me to set up Rain Dance. Our luck runs out as Crobat lands a Supersonic on the next turn, but Mayweather powers through the confusion and lands a one-hit KO Thunder. Thanks to Rain Dance, boosting its accuracy to 100%. Toucannon is up next, and I mistakenly thought May would outspeed it. Toucannon ends Mayweather's run with a Supersonic Sky Strike. Farewell, my adorable friend. Anwolf steps into the battlefield, Toucannon prepares a Big Blast, and Anne sets up a Swords Dance. The Big Blast connects, removing Anne's disguise, but she retaliates with a one-hit KO Play Rough on Toucannon. Finally, one last Shadow Claw on Oricorio seals our victory over Kahili and the Elite Four. I have only 4 smiling Pokemon left on my team. Even as the challenges grow and the road becomes more treacherous, I know I must keep a positive attitude, no matter how difficult it gets. We will face it together. The time has come to face the final challenge on our journey to become the Pokemon League champion, a decisive battle against Professor Kukui. Professor Kukui starts with his Lycanroc, and I place all my trust in Willy to weaken it with stall tactics. Willy begins with Baby Doll Eyes, while Lycanroc sets up Stealth Rock. Another Baby Doll Eyes follows, but Lycanroc counters with a Stone Edge. Willy stalls with Protect, healing slowly with leftovers. I continue using Baby Doll Eyes, chipping away at Lycanroc's strength. With Stone Edge exhausted, Lycanroc resorts to Crunch. Lycanroc presses on with Crunch, and I attempt Toxic, but it frustratingly misses. Undeterred, I kept using Baby Doll Eyes until Lycanroc is finally worn down. At last, a Toxic lands and I stall Lycanroc into the healing range. This gives me the perfect opportunity to switch to Ann Wolf. Lycanroc's Crunch removes Ann's disguise, allowing her to set up a Swords Dance without taking further damage. Another Crunch lands, but Ann boosted herself with a second Swords Dance. By the third Crunch, Ann is fully powered up with 3 Swords Dances. Lycanroc, refusing to go down without a fight, uses Accel Rock, but Ann swiftly finishes off with Shadow Sneak. Next up is Magnezone, but I stay confident with Babiri Berry in our arsenal, ensuring Ann can survive a Steel-type attack. Ann strikes with Shadow Sneak, sending Magnezone into the yellow. Magnezone attempts a Thunder Wave, but mercifully misses. One final Shadow Sneak takes down Magnezone. Now the stage is set for Ann Wolf to sweep through the rest of Kukui's team. Kukui's last Pokemon is Ninetales. It unleashes a wizard that nearly knocks out Ann, but with one last play rough, Ann delivers the final blow and victory is ours. And that's how I conquered my first Alolan playthrough using only smiling Pokemon. Let me know your thoughts on the run. I'd say this one is the toughest challenge on the channel so far. I'll see you in the next video.